Not to be a dick, bro, but there's no way Jinxie donated a mil.
Nah,
No,
that's
no, no.
crazy, Jinxie. That's
Dude, I'm
Uh,
sorry, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I
oh,
just feel like
Logan Paul once labeled himself as a petty billionaire, not because he's broke, but because he knows how to manipulate money like a weapon. From stepping on local cultures to being caught up in shady crypto schemes, Logan doesn't hesitate to use his wealth to silence, intimidate, and crush anyone who dares stand in his way. Whether it's independent investigators like CoffeeZilla or the victims of his infamous CryptoZoo disaster, Logan has always found a way to play the game on his terms. But what's curious is that every time the drama hits the fan, Logan shows up in the headlines again, this time beaming as a philanthropist, pouring money into charity projects like Mr. Beast's Clean Water Initiative. It's almost like clockwork. He goes from villain to hero, with the public rallying around him, thinking he's turned a new leaf. But is this the real Logan Paul? Or is it just another extravagant act designed to wash away the stains of his past? When I first saw Logan Paul's name linked to Team Water, Mr. Beast's campaign to bring clean water to communities in desperate need, my first thought was, here we go again. After the CryptoZoo debacle crashed down on him, leaving countless investors holding the bag, Logan found himself drowning in a sea of criticism and lawsuits. His reputation was shattered, scraping the very bottom. But instead of owning up, apologizing, or making things right, Logan chose a slicker route. He slipped into the role of the big-hearted hero, popping up at high-profile charity events, always in front of cameras, always ready for his close-up. One of these moments came when Logan jumped into Mr. Beast's Team Water campaign alongside stars like Kaizenat, Gordon Ramsay, Hank Green, and Dude Perfect. He donated $100,000 to the cause, a hefty chunk of cash to help bring clean water, to places like Malawi, Nepal, and Ecuador, even some areas in the U.S. To the average viewer, it looked like a noble gesture, a sign of remorse, a fresh start. But for those who followed Logan's career closely, it's the same old script. Charity becomes his PR shield, protecting him from the ugly cracks in his image. And the timing? Well, it's hard to ignore that this generous move came right after the public outcry surrounding CryptoZoo. So the real question here is Logan Paul genuinely trying to help others, or is he just scrambling to save his own skin? Let's break it down. That $100,000 donation to Team Water might look generous at first glance, but for anyone who's followed the CryptoZoo disaster, that's small change. Logan and his team raked in $6 million from investors, some of whom lost hundreds of thousands of dollars each. What did they get in return? A glitchy game, a broken platform, and promises that led to nothing. Logan's response? He bailed. Left investors holding the bag, while he went back to vlogging and playing the charity card. When you stack up that $100,000 against the $6 million he pocketed from the failed CryptoZoo project, it's like a single grain of sand in a desert. But for those who need a refresher on the chaos that was CryptoZoo, here's the rundown. In August 2021, Logan launched CryptoZoo, pitching it as a revolutionary NFT pet breeding game on the blockchain. The idea was simple. Players would buy zoo tokens, use them to purchase NFT eggs, and then wait for the eggs to hatch into animals. Those animals could be bred to generate more tokens, which players could cash out. It all sounded too good to be true. But Logan, with his track record in the NFT space, was convinced it was a game changer. It was marketed as the next big thing in the NFT world, a project that would make waves. Logan talked it up as a way for fans to earn money while having fun. But as the money poured in, things quickly went sideways. The project hit its funding goals and then it vanished. No finished product, no profits. Just a bunch of disappointed investors left in the dust. And while all this was happening, Logan acted as though nothing was wrong. That is until CoffeeZilla, the no-nonsense YouTube investigator, stepped in. With a series of hard-hitting videos, CoffeeZilla exposed the ugly truths behind CryptoZoo. Terms like scam were thrown around, and Logan's reputation was hit like a wrecking ball. The fallout was massive, and it even drew the attention of the FBI and SEC. A class action lawsuit was filed accusing Logan and his team of orchestrating a massive scam. The plaintiffs claimed that Logan's false promises and inflated hype led to over $2 million in lost investments, leaving the tokens and NFTs worthless. On top of that, Logan faced charges of fraud, conspiracy, and violations of Texas's Deceptive Trade Practices Act. As of now, Logan is still deeply embroiled in this lawsuit. The FBI continues to look into his crypto ventures, and the drama with CoffeeZilla is far from over. In fact, Logan has even slapped a defamation lawsuit on CoffeeZilla, and it's still ongoing. So when you look at the full picture, from the failed crypto venture to the fake charity acts, it's clear that Logan has turned his name into a lightning rod for controversy. His association with scams has practically become his brand, and while he may still be able to pull off a public redemption act here and there, it's tough to ignore the fact that he's been using his wealth to wipe the blood off his hands, while hoping we forget how he got his money in the first place. When I first saw Logan Paul's name linked with Team Water, I couldn't just let it slide. I dug deeper into the latest twists in his ongoing battles with CoffeeZilla and the investors who were burned by CryptoZoo. And what I uncovered is shocking. Logan appears to be using his fortune not as a shield, but as a weapon, strong-arming anyone who dares to push back. Buried inside the court documents connected to his fight with CoffeeZilla, there are messages that allegedly came straight from Logan to his lawyers. And let me tell you, they drip with venom. In these private notes, Logan reportedly swore he would sue CoffeeZilla into oblivion, make his life miserable, and even wrote the chilling words, "Zilla will pay one way or another." He allegedly went further, proudly labeling himself a petty billionaire who lives to see anyone who crosses him suffer. And when those words leaked, the internet exploded. On X, formerly Twitter, fans and critics alike pointed to them as undeniable proof. Logan isn't simply defending his name, he's using his money and influence as a blunt force hammer to silence his critics. This isn't just about winning in court. It's about punishment. It's about vengeance. Logan Paul isn't fighting to clear his reputation. He's fighting to crush CoffeeZilla for daring to expose the truth behind the CryptoZoo disaster. And now, instead of scandals on YouTube or antics in the boxing ring, Logan's latest controversy is hidden between the dry lines of legal filings. But the story they tell is louder than ever. Because according to those papers, Logan isn't only targeting CoffeeZilla. He's also making life harder for the very investors who already lost money in his failed crypto project. Here's how. The lawsuit centers on CoffeeZilla, but 3 ordinary investors, 1 from Portugal, 2 from New Zealand, were asked to provide testimony. CoffeeZilla's lawyers suggested the obvious solution, a simple Zoom call, quick, easy, and affordable. But Logan's legal team flat out refused. Their stance? No remote testimony. If they want to speak, they must fly to Texas in person. On paper, the reason sounded official. Claiming online testimony makes it hard to verify someone's identity. But to anyone paying attention, it looked like pure intimidation. Imagine losing your savings in a failed project, then being told you need to cough up thousands more for airfare, hotels, food, and lost workdays just to tell your side of the story. Court filings even make it clear Logan doesn't oppose the depositions. He only opposes them happening remotely. And when you step back, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. This isn't about fairness. It's about punishment. It's about making it so painfully expensive and inconvenient to testify that people simply give up. For each investor, just the plane tickets alone would run around $200, not to mention hotels, meals, and missed income. These people were already victims of CryptoZoo, and now they're being asked to bleed more money just to stand in court. CoffeeZilla himself called it exactly what it looks like, part of Logan's long-term playbook. Drive up costs, drag things out, and wear down your opponent until they're drained of both cash and energy. A slow, grinding war of attrition, and the message is crystal clear. Cross Logan Paul, and you'll pay. The harsh reality is that CoffeeZilla and these investors can't possibly match Logan's financial firepower. With a fortune estimated at over $50 million, Logan can afford to play this game for years. Meanwhile, his critics scrape together funds just to stay in the ring. And when the investors couldn't afford those flights, CoffeeZilla had to cover the bills out of his own pocket. It's a calculated move, a way to send a chilling warning. Challenge me, and I'll make sure it costs you everything. And here's the kicker. Just when you think Logan has sunk as low as he can go, he finds a new way to surprise you. While all this is happening in the courtroom, he's busy polishing his public image with big, flashy gestures. Take Team Water, for example. The partnership with Mr. Beast's massive charity project has been splashed across headlines. To the casual fan, Logan looks like a reformed, community-focused YouTuber. But to those watching closely, it's clear what's happening. This is classic Logan Paul damage control. It's not even a new trick. Let's rewind to 2017, when Logan made international headlines for one of YouTube's darkest scandals. In Japan's Aokigahara Forest, tragically known as the Suicide Forest, Logan and his crew stumbled upon the body of a man. Instead of turning off the camera and calling authorities, Logan filmed the scene, zoomed in, cracked jokes, and uploaded the footage for millions to see. The backlash was swift and brutal. Celebrities, fans, and the media slammed him for his cruelty. His response? A tearful apology and a promise to donate $1 million to suicide prevention charities. But money couldn't erase what the world had witnessed, and yet, fast forward to today, he's running the same playbook. After CoffeeZilla's investigation into CryptoZoo, Logan didn't come clean. No immediate refunds, no heartfelt admission. Instead, he stayed mostly silent, dropped a few dismissive responses, and waited. He knows public outrage has an expiration date, and right on cue, when the noise began to fade, he made his big, dramatic move, donating $100,000 to Mr. Beast's Team Water. To the untrained eye, it looks generous. To seasoned watchers, it's a sleight of hand, a way to redirect headlines from crypto scammer to charitable hero. And by attaching himself to Mr. Beast, a creator known for honesty, generosity, and transparency, Logan borrows credibility he hasn't earned. It's strategic, it's deliberate, and it's effective. Because once the public sees him standing next to Mr. Beast, pouring money into a noble cause, the memory of CryptoZoo starts to blur. It gets pushed aside as old news. But here's the uncomfortable truth. These acts of charity don't erase his past. They don't repay the victims, and they certainly don't cancel out the courtroom power games he's playing right now. What we're watching isn't redemption. It's reputation laundering. Logan Paul has made a career out of overpowering weaker opponents, whether through controversy, financial muscle, or calculated stunts. From the Suicide Forest scandal to the CryptoZoo fallout to this carefully timed Team Water donation, the pattern hasn't changed. Whenever the walls close in, he throws money at a charity, hoping people will look the other way. But money can't buy accountability, and it can't erase memory. At the end of the day, Logan Paul doesn't need another viral redemption arc. What he needs is accountability. Real accountability. That means facing the damage done to CryptoZoo victims. It means acknowledging the pain caused by his reckless decisions. It means actually making things right, not trying to distract us with staged generosity. Because as long as Logan keeps leaning on the same old playbook, wealth, power, and public relations stunts, his name won't be remembered with respect. It will be remembered as a cautionary tale, a story of how fame and fortune can hide mistakes for a while, but never erase them.